Hello and welcome back. It's been a while. It's probably been like exactly a month. So today, I'm just gonna get into it. I'm gonna be doing a very informal analysis of Strangers by Ethel Cain. And kind of tying that back into Yellow Jackets because that is my current hyperfixation and I think about that show at least 10 times a day. Hey, it's really important to me actually. So yeah, I actually recorded this video before and it ended up being like an hour long and I was like, hey, I'm not gonna edit that. So we're back, team, and I believe in myself that this time I can do like a 15-minute video, and for your sake I hope it is that short. Okay, let's just jump into it. If you don't know, Preacher's Daughter is an album by Ethel Cain, and go give it a listen. Actually, it's really great. It kind of follows the narrative of this character, Ethel Cain, who is from the South. She is, get this, a preacher's daughter. Whoa! Whoa! Plot twist. And she kind of just, she meets this guy, Isaiah. Yeah, that's his name. And they're kind of chilling, and they're like, hey, let's just go on a little road trip. Like, what could go wrong? And so they do, and it's really chill, and then you guessed it, they like fall in love with each other, and it's like this cosmic, like, all-consuming devotion type beat. Then things get scary. Towards the end of the album, Isaiah does like almost kill. Well, he does. I think it's like confirmed she's like shot, but then she's like dying in his attic, and then finally in Ptolemy, the like violent fight happens. It's not really a fight. And Ethel's like, she's facing death. She's literally talking to death. And then in August Underground, it's believed like that's when she dies because we hear like this gunshot and door closing at the end. And then Televangelism is kind of like this little interlude, and then we go into Sun Bleach Flies, and then Strangers, which are kind of Ethel's like posthumous letter to us as a listener and to other characters in this story. And so that's where we're starting today. Is the very last song. So it starts with this introduction, sampling this dialogue. It sounds like a pastor, and he's basically kind of saying, like, you are going to die, but if you believe in God, you're gonna go to a better place. I mean, like, here it does mean a lot because, like, she just died. Like, did she go to a better place? Guess we'll never know. And the verse starts with, in your basement I grow cold, thinking back to what I was always told, don't talk to strangers or you might fall in love. That's crazy. Don't talk to strangers or you might fall in love. So like, she's using the idea, she's substituting the idea of like getting hurt, getting killed with love, and like, is that her concept of love? And if so, what does that mean for us? Like, maybe it is real love to her to feel pain, because like large emotion, and that brings in, because mind you, it gets worse. He kills her, and then hey, cannibalizes her. Hey, I'm gonna say it. Might get redacted, but that's kind of what happens. That's where Yellow Jackets comes in, because it's like this idea of cannibalism as love, because like, yeah, it is like very all-consuming and overwhelming, and like, is that feeling love also? And like, where is that boundary is kind of the question that all of this begs. And I'd say yeah, I'm really interested in this. I'm really into it, and it's scaring me. Then in the next line, this is gonna start me on a 30-minute tangent, but I'm not going to. Freezer bride, you were sweet divine. Sorry, like there are layers to this. There are layers. Okay, so freezer bride. On the one hand, it's like her body's like kept in a freezer to like keep it chilled, like, but it's also like she's in a freezer because like she is his food and like nourishes him in every way possible. But then here's another idea. So Talamea is, I think, the 9th circle hell, hey, in Dante's Inferno, and that closest circle of hell is reserved for the people who've done the worst, most atrocious thing, and that is to betray someone, but not just betray them, but betray someone that you love and that you've had like a deep, like almost spiritual connection with. and that can be like romantic love, platonic love, like your family. So basically, if you betray anyone like that, you're gonna go to this circle of hell. And this circle isn't hot or like a fiery inferno. It's actually like a frozen wasteland, and depending on what you did, that's gonna be like how far you are like engulfed within the ice and like frozen in place in time. Kind of ties back into this idea where she starts the song where she's growing cold and she's his freezer bride, because it's almost like poking fun at him, like, I'm dead now, but when you are, that's where you're gonna be. Because like early in the album, it is like a direct reference to that verse. Just kind of ends out with her kind of using similes as herself for like food. Like she never considered herself tough, whereas like the actual meat on her person was tough for him to eat. Like bovine hide. Hey, what's a bovine? Had to look that up. I am not a country girl. And so then in the chorus, I tried to be good, am I no good, am I no good, am I no good? A moment of silence for that line, because for me personally that means so much. And I don't know if everybody feels like this, but I feel like it has so much meaning as like an adolescent and a woman and just so much. And for Hayden personally and for Ethel Cain, this means so much as being a woman and you're trying to be good, and am I no good? Do you see me as good? Do I taste good? Do I look good? Am I pleasing? And I'm sure just like Hayden, the queer identity of all of that is very hard, a very big battle to fight, and to just be told that you're not good, like often, and just to have that reinforced so much that you're just questioning, you're grasping at anything to kind of validate. And that's what we see Ethel doing here with my memory restricted to a Polaroid and evidence. You know, they find her body, and she has nothing left on this earth to follow her except for the violence that was done upon her. And I think, once again, hey, to be a woman is to feel pain and to be remembered as such in a big way. And then I just wanted to be yours. Can I be yours? She repeats that a few times. Once again, it's just this kind of desperate love that she has for him, and it just makes me wonder if that's reciprocated or not. Am I turning in your stomach? Am I making you feel sick? See, she doesn't have a grave to turn in. Her memory, her spirit is kind of in those Polaroid pictures. Her body is mangled on the floor, and a part of her is in him. Not forever, but in a really, really big way. And so she doesn't have a grave to turn in. She has to turn in his stomach with all of her upset, all of her frustration, and the feelings that are just coming from her. And am I making you feel sick? I think on the one hand, it's like, am I the remnant of what you did, making you feel sick? But also like, in a societal way, once again, being a woman, being queer, is my existence making you feel sick? That's a lot to think about. Verse 2. When my mother sees me on the side of a milk carton in Winn-Dixie's dairy aisle, she'll cry and wait up for me. So, like, we know that, like, putting missing people on milk cartons, but it's really interesting that she pulls her mother into this now, because it really shows how relevant her mom is to this story. And then this part is really beautiful. Not lyrically, but sonically it is. We'll make love in your attic all night, euphoric in some strange delight. It just does, with the reverb and the sound, like sonically, this part of the song does sound amazing, and it really pulls me in as a listener and kind of brings me into this place that Ethel Cain does so well at bringing you into this kind of religious state. I mean, I have experienced like religious ecstasy or whatever in a way I've never experienced in any like traditional religious setting when I listen to her music. And I'm not even being dramatic. I'm not even like, my religion is Ethel Cain. She just really does a great job of making analogies for the things that are so important as an adolescent and as a woman. And sonically, she's an amazing, amazing artist and pioneer. And I think her work does speak so much for that, and it speaks to so many people. You know, on the one hand, it can just be a concept album that's really fun to listen to. That's kind of what initially drew me in, but it's also has so much meaning and so much intent, and there's pain, there's emotion in it, and that's what's so beautiful. This can bring so many people together. You know, I don't have the same belief system as another Ethel Cain enjoyer, but like, we both experienced this feeling and we believe in that feeling. So that's kind of amazing. You're so handsome when I'm all over your mouth. And this is kind of, it like repeats when I'm all over your mouth, and this kind of builds up. And like, on the one hand, there is like this tension to it. And honestly, like, it does sound like kind of freaky, not gonna lie. But it once again shows that like Ethel doesn't see this as a bad thing. She finds this, although it's painful, it's romantic and attractive. I think that's really interesting to analyze a relationship and your feelings from that point of view. Because I've been in that place. I've been in that place where no matter what this person could do, it feels perfect. And it is so all-consuming that this seems appropriate. And I don't know how I feel about that. I honestly don't know. But yeah, not that I'm like a danger. I'm gonna throw that out there. So then we have our chorus again, and it's once again the same sentiment of I tried to be good, am I no good? There's this just kind of like sacrifice. Am I turning in your stomach? Like, she's sacrificed her mind, body, and soul to this love, this relationship, this feeling that's taken her over. And I would beg to say that this kind of references like Jesus. Hey, because, you know, he did like give over his body, sacrificed himself for what he loves. And I think Ethel kind of mirrors that in a way for us. Although it may not have been willingly, she does openly sacrificed for this and to this love. And it's more like the unsavory side of it that we get to see, you know. With Jesus, it's like, oh, he raised from the dead, so we're all happy. Happy Easter. Go get some candy. And with Ethel, it's like, no, this is an unsavory moment. I'm on the side of a souring milk carton, and people are mourning me. I'm gonna be, these pictures of my mangled body are gonna be in a trial. And I think it's a really interesting ending to go with, to just take it to the worst possible situation. At the end of this chorus, am I turning in your stomach? Am I making you feel sick? And there's a pause. And then she says, am I making you feel sick? She kind of draws out this line, and this is the part of the song that really makes me feel something. I mean, once again, on the surface level, saying, am I making you feel sick? Am I making you feel sick by being myself? And is my body and your inside of yours making you feel sick? And I just think a lot of this is so significant to Hayden's personal life, and to, like, she knows her audience. This is significant to me. This is significant to the average Ethel Cain enjoyer. And something else that's interesting is this line is repeated a lot of times. That's kind of like the closing bridge. And it's sung in two different kind of tones. There's one that's more monotone, like she's accepted her fate, and she's saying, am I making you feel sick? She doesn't really care at this point, you know, she can't take it back. And then there's another tone that's higher, it's yelling, guttural, screaming, am I making you feel sick? And that's so compelling because, like, we do see, like, this emotion, like, she does feel something about this. She hasn't told us really how she feels about her fate, but in the way that we hear her, we can tell that it is an overwhelming emotion that she has. And this part always makes me think of Jackie and Shauna from Yellow Jackets, because they were cheated, and I think in another universe they are together, and I will stand by that. I am a Jackie Shauna defender. They were clearly in love with each other, but they kind of mistreated each other, like, and I think part of it is like low-key internalized homophobia and like the societal standards that kind of set on them, just their way of coping with their feelings for one another. kind of puts them in this situation. And both of them makes the other one feel sick, but they love each other. And it's this very complex relationship that once again mirrors Ethel and Isaiah, where it's, hey, this is toxic, this doesn't seem good, but to them it's so good and it means so much. And to an outside person, it looks crazy and you can't understand it. And I don't know if that's love, but it's something that's really overwhelming. And I think about it a lot. Jackie and Shauna make me feel so much. Like, I could cry because I've been there too. Like, to be in love with your best friend is to be a girl. And even, that's the thing I don't like about the English language, is we only have one word for love, where it's like, yes. Okay, this is Sabella going back and editing right now. And I just want to take a moment and talk about the look in my eyes, because I look insane. Like, I'm going through a manic episode or something. I'm in love with my best friend, but it's not, like, necessarily romantic. And I think I need another word for that. Like, it is romantic, but it's not like a crush. And I can't explain it. But Jackie and Shauna embody this perfectly. And I think it's so relatable and so applicable here. So then, in the outro, we kind of hear Ethel talking to both her mother and Isaiah, kind of, after her death, she's calmed down, she's taken a deep breath, she's let out all of her emotion, what she's felt, what she's waited her whole life to scream at the top of her lungs. And now we hear her, it goes back to an acoustic, and her voice, just the one melody. And she says, found you just to tell you that I made it real far, and I never blamed you for loving me the way that you did. We get to kind of see, once again, Ethel doesn't have resentment towards Isaiah. She understands where he's coming from. And she knows that's how things had to play out. Almost a self-fulfilling prophecy, or doomed from the beginning. She knew that she was going to have to sacrifice herself. Once again, Ethel is our sacrificial lamb in a way. We're torn apart. I would still wait for you there. Don't think about it too hard, or you'll never sleep a wink at night again. Don't worry about me and these green eyes, mama. So I think this kind of, she references her mother again, but this time she's speaking directly to her. And I think it's really interesting that she brings her mom into this, because they had such a close relationship, but she doesn't ever reference her father. She's never like, Dad, I'm so sorry, I couldn't be the daughter you wanted, and I know you'll miss me. No, she addresses her mother. She knows her mother's going to miss her when she sees her on the side of a milk carton, and she doesn't want her to worry about her, wait up for her, look for the specific hue of green in any other person's eyes, because she's always going to be here. And she wants her mom to move on, to know that she loves her, and that they'll be reunited in death. Once again, very interesting. Ethel and her mother, the preacher's wife, will be reunited in death. Nothing about the father. And I think that says a lot. Okay, stay with me now. I think that says a lot about, like, Southern Christianity. Please don't log off. Like, you have to hear me out, because if you know, you know, honestly. So that's the song. That's my little crash course TED Talk on it. And I feel like, honestly, it just, for me personally, it means so much. Lyrically, sonically, emotionally, tied to Jackie and Shauna, it just means so much, because there is so much tension, there's so much pain and like romantic tension between them that is the same type of thing we see in this song. And it's a theme that's in Yellow Jackets a lot. It's kind of managing this physical and emotional pain, but also like yearning and consuming devotion. And what does it mean to be devoted? You know, they're devoted to the wilderness, what they worship, but they're also devoted to one another in this sisterhood. So anyway, those are my thoughts. I've really been wanting to yap about this, so this has been great for me. And I understand nobody else might be interested in this. But yeah, I wanted to come on here and talk, and to redo this so that I don't have to edit for like a fortnight. But yeah, so go give Preacher's Daughter a listen if you haven't already, or go re-listen to it. And yeah, I'll see you guys later.